Before they ever prepared for trouble or made it double, Jessie and James of Team Rocket had to deal with abandonment, rejection, and even an arranged marriage. The Pokémon anime may have popularized Team Rocket, but the villainous gang made their debut in the original Game Boy versions of Pokémon Red, Blue, and Yellow. This notorious group acts as a sort of Pokémon mafia within the Kanto region, using the mystical creatures for their own gain. While the protagonist is optimistic, Team Rocket is cynical. While Pokémon are symbiotic with nature and humanity, Team Rocket is parasitic. Their written oath in their home base is literally: steal Pokémon for profit, exploit Pokémon for profit. All Pokémon exist for the glory of Team Rocket. The Team Rocket that viewers and players are familiar with is led by boss Giovanni in the Kanto region. They have smaller exploits across other regions, but Team Rocket's popularity with fans comes from their dealings with Ash Ketchum. In the anime, Jessie, James, and Meowth are field agents foiled by Ash and his Pikachu, while attempting a Pokémon robbery in Viridian City. From that fateful point on, the Team Rocket trio attempts countless harebrained schemes aimed at getting revenge on Ash and Pikachu, most of which tend to go sideways.
Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light!
Surrender now or prepare to fight!
Meowth, that's right!
Despite being the lovable goons constantly standing in the way of Ash's adventures, Jessie and James are people too. They've experienced their fair share of trials and tribulations that the average Pokémon fan might not be aware of. Team Rocket's history goes back further than Giovanni. His mother, Madame Boss, was Team Rocket's founder and original leader before handing the reins over to her son. This pre-show, pre-game storyline of Team Rocket's founding structure comes from a radio drama recorded in Japan in 1998 called The Birth of Mewtwo. And it's where Jessie's tale begins. Jessie's mother, Miyamoto, was Madame Boss's right-hand woman. She took orders directly from Madame Boss, who considered her a perfect Team Rocket member thanks to her ruthless love of cash and effectiveness at getting jobs done. During one of her jobs in South America, Miyamoto captured what was thought impossibly or merely a myth, actual evidence of the existence of Mew. Madame Boss was extremely interested and sent her back out to obtain the rare Pokémon. Despite Jessie only being a child at the time, Miyamoto followed orders and left her daughter at a foster home. Miyamoto's mission was not successful, and she's presumed to have died in an avalanche after Mew refused to be captured. After all this time, we still don't know exactly what happened to her.
That is a secret you will never know!
The writers can't figure it out either.
The foster home that Jessie found herself in during early childhood was not exactly well equipped. In the episode No Way Out, Jessie reveals some of the harsh conditions she had to endure. Specifically, there were times when food was so hard to come by that she was forced to eat snow. A testament to her tenacity, Jessie looks back on these smorgasbord meals as some of her only fond childhood memories.
We had to make do! Besides, snow food is low in fat and helped me maintain my fabulous figure.
Jessie's hardships at the foster home didn't end with just a lack of food. She also had troubles in her social life. In the episode Crossing Paths, we learn that she had once become infatuated with a classmate of hers named Astin. Astin was training to be a Pokémon coordinator, someone who prepares Pokémon to compete in talent shows, and he wanted Jessie to leave town and join him. Jessie shunned this potential positive future, as she had her own ambitions. She and two of her friends planned on becoming pop stars. Unfortunately for Jessie, both her friends passed her auditions while she didn't, and she was left behind to fend for herself yet again. Jessie's rough start to her life at the foster home didn't put a damper on her ambitions, at least not for long. Upon reaching a suitable age, Jessie set her sights on becoming a Pokémon nurse. After regular schools rejected her, she signed up at the Pokémon Nurse School, a program that trains Chansey to serve as assistants to the many nurse joys that inhabit each and every Pokémon Center. Despite being warned against the move, Jessie stuck to her decision. She was actually quite skilled at nursing and taught one struggling Chansey how to bandage wounds. They became good friends, but Jessie was unable to keep up with her classmate when it came to using Sing to soothe other Pokémon. After falling asleep thanks to the effects of Sing herself, Jessie wasn't able to graduate.
One doesn't become a nurse by sleeping in class, Miss Jessie.
I know, ma'am. I'm awfully sorry.
After all her hard work went unvalidated, Jessie packed a bag to go start somewhere new yet again. As she was leaving the Pokémon Nurse School, her friend Chansey broke her own graduation pendant in two and gave Jessie half of it. They reconnect over the half pendants in the episode Ignorance is Blissy. Once she hit the road, but before she joined Team Rocket, Jessie went through a few odd jobs over the years. She's been a model, a meteorologist, and even a ninja. These endeavors were all short-lived. along with any romantic relationship she formed along the way. Evidently a jack of all trades, Jessie lived an adventurous and tumultuous life long before she became the magenta-haired diva of Team Rocket fame. Part of Jessie and James' iconic chemistry is in the way they complement each other. Jessie is a commanding leader, and James is a dutiful follower. Jessie can be cold-hearted and ruthless, while James can be whimsical and warm. These contrasts exist not only in their on-screen behaviors, but are also rooted deep in their respective backstories. While Jessie got the ultimate short end of the stick for her childhood, growing up with no family, no resources, and no expectations, James's childhood unfolded at the other end of the spectrum. His parents were multi-millionaires, and he was their only child. As the sole heir to his family's fortune, James was brought up in the conventions of high society. He had to attend etiquette lessons, appear at formal dinners, and abide by all the laws of the upper class. These stiff rules and unrelenting expectations wore James thin, and he began to resent the culture he was born into.
Where are you going, James? I haven't finished teaching you the correct way to eat spaghetti yet.
I want to do things my way, Jessie Belle!
As a youth, James hated the harsh standards he had to live up to. Most notably, he was expected to marry a girl named Jessie Belle, no relation to Jessie, as part of an arranged marriage between wealthy families.
As our son and heir, you have certain obligations. The most important of these is to marry and continue the family line.
James intended to go through with the wedding at one point, as the episode The Treasure Is All Mine reveals with a locked-away letter containing an official proposal. However, James changed his mind due to Jessie Belle embodying many of the same traits he found off-putting about his parents and their lifestyle. He found her controlling, overbearing, and eager to set too many expectations. James's refusal of this arranged marriage served as a tipping point for him to renounce his upper-class titles and run away. During The Treasure Is All Mine, James relives this crisis in the present day, as Ash and the gang learn even more about James's past as the Team Rocket trio try to keep as much of it buried as possible. The official marriage proposal becomes the focus of the episode, and Jessie Belle even shows up ready to marry James all those years later. In order to get out of the wedding once again, James gets Ash and Pikachu to blast Team Rocket off again on purpose. While James's situation is played for laughs, it's clear that he was scarred by his arranged marriage, and is still haunted by it.
Who'd have thought being rich could be such a bummer?
A good trainer always has a special bond with their Pokémon, and despite his villainous occupation, James is no exception. Whether they're longtime companions or monsters he's only just met, James makes friends with Pokémon by understanding them. He feeds them his own food, praises their extraordinary feats, and gets on their level to communicate through language barriers. James's deep love for Pokémon began during his childhood. He had a pet Growlithe named Growly whom he adored, and he considered the fire-type dog his best friend. But when James ran away from his upper-class lifestyle, he tragically had to leave Growly behind. The bond between James and Growly never fades though. When Team Rocket falls into a trap sprung by Jessie Belle and James' rich parents in the episode Holy Matrimony, Growly appears out of nowhere to save the day.
You're the best. Thank you. Bro!
The legendary trio of Jessie, James, and their Meowth has had their origin story retconned a few times throughout the many seasons of the long-running series, but it's possible to piece together a genuinely accepted string of events. They first encountered one another at Pokémon Tech, but both flunked out after receiving dismal grades. Initially hostile towards each other, they become rivals of a sort in their next shared endeavor with the Bridge Bike Gang in Sunnytown. There, Jessie became respected and James was mocked, and their personalities rubbed each other the wrong way. They both joined Team Rocket on their own terms, and when they were paired up with each other, things were initially rocky.
I hope you're good, because I'm not going to carry you.
No one's carried me since my mama.
However, Meowth was able to get them all on the same page, and their animosity quickly turned into friendship as they became official Team Rocket members.
Are we really agents?
That's right. You've proven yourselves to be the best of the baddest.
A deeper part of Jessie's tragic past is the potential she displays for doing good, constructive work, despite the exploitative and destructive path she has chosen. When Aston encouraged Jessie to be a Pokémon coordinator with him, he was correct in spotting her potential. Jessie's initial attempts at winning Pokémon contests are riddled with cheating, which always seems to be exposed. Going forward, however, Jessie finds success in Pokémon contests by actually competing fair and square. She still dons disguises like Jesselina to avoid disqualification, but her performances flourish when she abides by the rules. Jessie starts winning Pokémon contests because of her unique appeal round. Instead of the Pokémon giving a final pose to the judges, Jessie herself poses with the Pokémon, putting herself as the center of attention. While her career as a Pokémon coordinator ends with her losing to Dawn at the Sinnoh Grand Festival, she shows earnest determination, care for her Pokémon, and potential for a brighter future.
You beat me, so if you don't wind up as top coordinator, I'll never forgive you as long as I live!
Jessie and James have been together as partners in crime for so long in the animated TV series that fans have speculated about whether their friendship is more than just platonic. Notably, one very controversial issue of the official manga, Pokémon The Electric Tale of Pikachu, has Jessie and James in a romantic relationship on the verge of childbirth at the end of the tale. Besides this often dismissed piece of lore, is there any indication that Jessie and James are romantically involved? Well, not really. After all, this is a TV show and branded intellectual property aimed at being family-friendly. While there are hints throughout the show that Jessie and James share a deeper connection, like James being terrified of Jessie learning about his arranged marriage, there's nothing definitive to go off of. While it's not an official repudiation of these theories, the Japanese voice actors for Jessie, James, and Meowth has said that it would be impossible for them to date due to Team Rocket's rules. Maybe romance is too much, but they definitely share a special bond rooted in their respective tragic upbringings. They've been through a whole lot together after all.
Team Rocket's blasting off again!